we decided what our aims were going to be, and the slides reflect the aims. So in a nutshell, it's improve recycling, decrease littering, and make Enfield a better place to live. Oh, reduce household waste as well. So the slides were linked to that. And just to say, as with all these working teams, we're all volunteers, we're not experts. It's about learning and being with the like-minded people to sort of learn together, which is what makes it fun. So I think to start us off, we've got Tim's slide.
Okay, so this is my slide. The object was to understand the reasons for the low and declining recycling rates in Enfield. The traditional explanation was contamination, that people weren't doing it correctly, but this wasn't, to me, a satisfactory explanation. The conclusion that I reached for various reasons is that the most likely explanation is to do with the incineration, that North London Waste Authority has a priority for incinerating and generating its energy from waste. There's no direct evidence, but it's very striking that 6 of the 7 boroughs in the region have seen declines in their recycling, and 3, Enfield, Barnet and Waltham Forest, which are not inner city boroughs with intense population and the problem of recycling from flats, they have all experienced a decline in recycling rates of about the same amount over about the same period from 2015. So that's my first point. The second point, yes, Enfield Council have set out some long-term targets, but they have a shorter-term target of 49.5% by 2022, and they have some specific actions by which they will achieve that, and I'm trying to track progress with this, which has certain challenges and will depend upon Enfield publishing its updated plans and responding to requests for information. So my third point is wishing to understand what the position is in Barnet and Waltham Forest as similar boroughs to Enfield, as well as looking for other outer city boroughs that where we can compare and see what we ought to be achieving. And then my last point is that I attend St Monica's Church in Palms Green, and there are quite a lot of churches within EnCaf, but none, I think, are Catholic. And so I'm working hard to bring St Monica's into our environmental concerns, in particular because of recent advice coming from the Cardinal and the bishops. So that's it from me.
Thanks, Tim. And I think the next one we're moving on to Tony.
So I'm going to speak about Tony's tips, so my slide should be up. I wish I could take credit for this, but it's a massive team effort. We all sat down and looked at different ideas on how to save water and energy, how to recycle better. And we're currently working on the third issue, which is about plastics. There's going to be more. We're going to do more on food waste and composting going forward. I don't know if you've all had the opportunity to have a look at the Tony's tip sheets. I've spoken to Zoe to see if we can get a link so people can download them from the website. But as you can see on the screen, is Tony's tips 1. And basically, it's a fun way for people to look at ideas of saving money. It's quite eye-catching, and I didn't do the drawings. Tim's son done the drawings for us, and he's turned our ideas into a fantastic piece of artwork. Everyone that's seen them said, oh, they're really good. They pass them on to other people. So that's the idea. We want to get the message across. So whether it's recycling your plastics and getting your stuff packed in your bins nice and tidy, or whether it's saving on food waste, like not buying plastic covered food and using food without packaging. We've looked at, what you can do with bottled water as well. There's just so much we can do, not only saving energy, as Hannah mentioned at the beginning about getting to carbon zero. There's a lot we can all do. There's a lot for us to achieve. The more people we get on board with what we're doing, the better.
And then our next slide was just showing how we've been out and about in Enfield. This is actually when, in terms of getting the word out, exciting people, these seem to be the easy things that people seem to get engaged with, because people do want to recycle more. They want to know where. So this is one piece of work we're doing. And then I'm going to talk, we move on to Carol's brilliant work showing about why litter picking is important to the community and the different elements in it. So there's the education side with the various groups, Clean Up UK, I mentioned them again, the waste enforcement side, the regular litter picks, which there have been many, and then bringing all that together, the benefits of a litter pick being a closer and safer community. And so Carol has been kind of talking to us a lot about decreasing litter, and she's got members of the group out into the local litter picks. It's also a chance to talk to people then about waste issues, a bit like already talked about face to face. She's now passed on or spoken a lot to Clean Up UK, who are recruiting and training community engagers to stimulate local litter picks. So on Clean Up UK's website, they're developing loads of resources and toolkits, telling people don't leave all the black bin bags you pick up beside the bin because that would be considered fly tipping, all that sort of advice. There's a great success she did by supporting Friends of Jubilee Park, linking with Galliard School, and they did posters around the park. And with enforcement, a request has been put into Enfield Council about the level of enforcement fines issued. So we'll hear more about that soon.
Carol also helped us with our eco church at Bushell Park, because she's helped us with the idea of doing a litter pick and engaging like the youth. So come September, we've decided we're going to do a local litter pick to the church. So I'm in the process of finding out about how I'll get the bags picked up from the council and all the other things that come along with it. But on top of that, Carol's also engaged with the flower shows around Enfield and that. I forget what it's called.
Enfield in Bloom.
Enfield in Bloom. So, yeah. And as a result of that, we've put a display at the front of our church. My
last slide, when we were deciding on projects, I simply said, I want to recycle more, and I'm sure a lot of people do. And so I was thinking about how to promote all our recycling options, not just what the council takes, and how to think about how the community can collaborate and coordinate more. So this is a little picture of my kitchen surface, and this is the biscuits and the crisp packets we collected over lockdown. And of course, over lockdown, it was hard, all the TerraCycling places were shut down, so it's hard to get rid of them. But the picture on the right is the bags that I took to Tony's church, the United Reformed Church. Melanie's, it's nice to see Melanie and Mark here too. And I was lucky enough, even though their church was closed, I was able to hand it to one of their members who have taken it to their recycling boxes. And that included cheese wrappers, crisp packets, you name it. It was great to get it out of my house, and I felt very relieved. So we'll talk about more about that. So people want to recycle more. My kitchen worktop is overflowing there. So I was looking into how and where I could cycle more, and some of the good things happening. And some of the good things, I don't want to, people will know this, but there's, or some people might not, you can look at it on the website as well, but TerraCycle is the global world leader at recycling non-recyclables. And they do the pens, the plastic gloves. They were set up in 2001. In 2009 came to the UK, and from the UK they've now got 12 places across Europe. So they've got hundreds of waste streams, The issue, I think, is there's not actually that many opportunities to TerraCycle in North London. So I've been looking into the pros and cons of that and talking a lot to Tony about his church and another church who've been trying to do that. Some people using TerraCycle, I've got some pictures here, the little one of the cardboard box, the Walker crisp packets, that's Southgate Hockey Centre who are doing their bit. The little picture, the blue picture, I really liked this picture. This is actually a church in Hitchin that I recommend people having a look at, because they seem to have found a positive way of doing their TerraCycling, and I've posted stuff up to them, and they've sent me a letter thanking me and telling me how much they've helped raise for the church. And what's interesting is they put it outside, it's 24/7, it's available to all. Now I know there's been other issues in Enfield about this, so that's something to explore later with people. And then what else have I got? Oh, this little picture of a phoenix. I'm not sure if people can see the screen. Now, this little phoenix is a guy called George in Milton Keynes. This guy recycles 10 waste streams from his front drive and has raised £41,000 for local charities like his local hospice over the last 10 years. Now, he's brilliant at it. He's got a vocation, he dedicates himself to it, so there's pros and cons there about how much effort you have to put into it. But what's interesting is he has an individual from the council, his local parish council, brings all the TerraCycling that gets picked up at the council over to his house as well. So there's a lovely connection there. So that's good things happening that can be explored. London Recycles is a website I want to draw people's attention to. Now, I spoke to them because I wanted to understand, they've got a great A to Z that you could go on and work out how I recycle in this borough. At the moment, it's a lot of council connections because of their capacity and resources. They spoke about adding TerraCycling units, things into their A to Z. So I was talking to them about how we can map not only the TerraCycling, but, you know, all those extra boxes that we see out and about in the high streets, like the opticians recycling glasses. You know, I was trying to think about that. Another piece of work. Reworked, I want to quickly mention, because they incentivize recycling for people, and I think that's really, really important. They incentivize and they've got traceability. Reworked, I would say, are the UK version of TerraCycling, where it's kind of local and personal enough to feel relevant. What's interesting about Reworked, I recommend everyone looks at their website, is they've got a 30-year-old waste company behind them that recycles thousands of hard to recycle things. They're the UK they would do the batteries, or the recycle the batteries for the whole of the UK. So they've got the backing of a big experienced business, but they're small and agile enough to be able to do some really creative things quickly over COVID, like suddenly reclaim the masks, set up how are we going to get the masks and repurpose them to make them into useful things. So that's an interesting company to watch. And because they've got this backing of this big waste company, they've got all these good commercial connections. So locally, you'll see in Boots in High Barnet, they've got a box in there where you can recycle 5 things. The incentive is you will get points and a voucher. I think it's something really good, like you get £5 worth for sending 5 things back. So it shows an example of showing how a big business like Boots can give opportunities to their customers. Now, what's exciting about Boots is they're giving opportunities to their employers. The money that they're making by taking this recycling, they're reinvesting in things that they're repurposing for their warehouses and Boots. So this is all a trial. So my last question is, coming back full circle to what we said at the beginning, is just 20 minutes, but that's a taster. What can we explore further with you?